Hey everyone, how's it going? Octopus here and welcome back to evercrisis. Sorry for the upload being so late. Crazy things have been happening. I was in the hospital for a couple days, not for me, something else, but I'll talk about that in another time. For now, we're gonna go over Tifa's banner and talking about why it's good, but it's also very skippable, just like every other Final Fantasy crossover banner that's currently been out. Like Tifa's weapon, really good, but is it good like for every scenario, every situation you're in? Can you skip it and not feel it? It's one of those where like if you pull for it, it will help you in places, but if you skip it, you won't feel it. It's weird. So let's go in and let's talk about this. All right, so starting off with Tifa, I'm just gonna showcase the costume here just a little bit, right? Everyone has their opinion on this costume. Some are mixed, some are really good, really bad. The gloves look really, really cool. Overall, it does look better in game than it did in those previews, but there's still a lot to talk about this costume. You guys can talk about if you like it or not in the comment section. I'm going to talk about what it does and how good it is. So this is an upgraded version of her previous costumes. By far, it's a lot better because it does come with physical and magic defense plus 15%, along with the mastery of 15% on it for physical. So if you guys have her previous costumes, it's not like you need this one, but if you did get this one, it kind of replaces them. For example, we're talking about the cowgirl one, the guide uniform. The reason it's better than guide uniform because physical attack is not needed anymore. We have a lot of our abilities that max it out really, really quick. And then we've got the same exact stance, physical ability mastery, right? So right there, it's already a big improvement because survivability versus 10 physical attack, you always take that survivability, right? Then we have the Final Fantasy 6 crossover one. It's got HP, and then it's got stackable boost physical ability potency. So this is not standalone. If your weapons already hit 55 points, this becomes completely dead. And that means that all she has is boost HP for 30%, which in most cases can really help. And sometimes we don't have enough room for all our weapons to max out this physical ability potency. So it's still a really good costume, especially when they're showing us Kefka doing 12,000 guaranteed damage and you need HP. Costumes like this do come in handy. But her new costume is probably one of her best ones at the moment when it comes to the physical build with survivability. These are really good. Wish it was more of an Arcanum, but 15% increase with survivability is really awesome to see. Is it worth going deep for? That depends on you and your account, but you can't go wrong with the costume. So nothing bad to say there. Now, when it comes to Sabin's Claws, or Sabin, I don't know how to pronounce it properly. Haven't played the game yet. I know you can flame me for that, but overall, this weapon is very, it's very unique. Is it something at first glance like, oh, this is it, we got to go for this? No, but the more you dig into it, the more you talk about it, this actually does turn out to be a really good weapon. Overall, what it does is it does physical damage, AoE, it has a chance to crit AoE as well. It boosts your physical attack from low to mid when it's only one copy, and magic attack from low to mid. And then it does, if you have HP above 50% or more, guaranteed 10,000 damage. If you OB1 this weapon, this damage becomes 20,000 and these buffs duration become 25 seconds. So just OB1 on this weapon is actually really good to have in your back pocket at any moment. Just like all the weapons that are here except for Sephiroth's, if you grab one copy or two copies, you're laughing because they are going to change a lot of different setups, give the characters more abilities to do different things, especially these ones, because guaranteed 20,000 damage on a character that can heal, a character has a lot of versatility, and a character that DPS is already anyways and can rebuff her high buffs in the future as well, or currently at the moment too, is really, really strong. And then at the R abilities, we got boost attack and boost ability potency that start off at 40 just for having one copy is really strong, right? These are one of the best weapons, and it maxes out at 6239, right? So if you have this on the main hand at 39 points, you're going to increase to 30% damage in attack stance and 62 boost attack, which is the max you can get for this. Does it replace other weapons that you can use in our main hand, depending on the magic build or the physical build? No, not really, but it makes it that this can always be a staple because it buffs it buffs both magic and physical, and it guarantees damage. At OB6, it's 30,000 guaranteed damage. At OB10 is 40,000. So if you have Cloud's Bahamut sword from the anniversary, you know how powerful this is, how much cheese content happened. But the thing you also got to realize, if you have both this weapon and Cloud's weapon, you're guaranteeing 80,000 damage, not including this damage here, right? Every single attack to every single enemy. 80,000 damage every single attack that you do is kind of insane. And with a healer like Aerith, who boosts all that physical attack with her weapon, there's a nasty combo that's going to be out there with her ultimate weapon and her Bahamut rod. Aerith just giving ATB like crazy to these characters. You basically don't need that physical attack if you use like healers that have AoE magic attack up, AoE physical attack up, right? But the fact that she can refresh it while the healer is just re-healing or redoing buffs like defense up makes this really good in that sense. But that guaranteed 80,000 cheese, I don't know how Square's gonna react to that with like nerf wise, because now our weapons and bosses coming out have to deal with that. The weapons have to deal with new bosses that are like, oh, here's an AoE group. Well, you have both Tifa and Cloud, you're doing 80,000 AoE. It kind of minimizes a lot of the hard stuff, and I guess that's what it is, right? Crossover weapons. So that's one thing that makes it really, really powerful, that if you do max it out, you get the chance to go from low to high on her buffs. So that means 3 casts of 4 ATB. First cast is low, second cast is mid, third cast is high. And again, that's only going to happen if your healer or sub DPS is not already given her that attack high that she needs. It's more of a greedy DPS, but it's always good to have on there, because then when there isn't a character that does that, she can pretty much take care of herself. But that's a little bit of a downfall when I look at this, is that low to high. Is it really necessary when your other characters are already doing AoE buffs of this? Then that leaves it that this character is only doing damage AoE and guaranteed 40,000 damage, which is still very powerful, especially with these kind of R abilities. At 674 physical attack, guaranteed to be in physical builds for sure, and it's got an X sigil at the end over here. So the thing I was saying that like makes this weapon really good is that it's used for so much at OB1, OB6, and OB10, giving you different increases of that additional damage, which means that while she comes into a fight as a healer, if you do that, she can be that guaranteed damage with heals. She can be that debuffer with guaranteed damage, even though she's not going to be fully built. She could be the character that goes, okay, I have the lowest HP, but the highest defense, but I won't be useless. I'm going to guarantee 30,000, 40,000 damage as I'm doing this, right? So the fact that you can slap this on not only her healing setup, her debuffing setups, and any of her damage setups, because guaranteed damage plus damage and critical damage is still something not to look away from. So there's plenty of possibilities with this weapon. It's just that if you don't pull for this weapon, it's not like your Tifa is going to be obsolete. It is limited, so the chances of you getting OB10 without saving a lot of crystals or swiping that credit card are very limited, but the possibilities of when you do go for this weapon does change her like utility, how much she can do. They already give her everything, so it's like she already does so much, and it would be nice to see other characters get banners besides Cloud, Tifa, Sephiroth, Aerith over and over and over again. But it does open up her kit a little bit more, but also as a veteran player, not really necessary. As a new player, yes, this will kickstart you into a very powerful Tifa, especially with that guaranteed damage, just like Bahamut Sword. You can't look away from that, guaranteed 40,000 damage. But I feel like Square's going to find a way to really nerf these guaranteed weapons, especially now there's 2 in the team. Very scary, and they both put them physical. They did it on purpose. So overall, this weapon can be used for any of her builds, right? You can use it for her magic build just because she can buff herself, plus it being on the main slot or off slot. Those R abilities are no joke, right? Especially for any other character, but again, it's limited, so you're not going to have it OB10 right away unless you're really dedicating to this banner, but still 54 is very incredibly strong. So anything you run on her, right? There's not really a wish list for this because this could be both physical and magical. It is based on a physical build, so the only thing that she really has physical besides her other limited stuff that you can wish list for is like Holy Flame Gloves. So you could have that physical build here with ice damage and doing that. Everything else she has is limited. Sonic Strikers technically has a lot of physical, right? But the R abilities, again, not necessary when you have R abilities like that on her new weapon. And then she's really known for all that utility if she's not looking to her magic DPS. So overall, you really can't go wrong. This might be the last banner for Aerith's ultimate weapon. Maybe. I think they're going to extend this into more banners. So I'm not really worried that these are only banners, but the next banner has to be enticing, more enticing than these 4. Overall, all 4 banners, it is one of those things like grab a copy, right? Tifa's the same thing, and OB1 is already perfect. I think out of all of them were like grab a copy, I would say Tifa and Aerith are neck to neck to just get 1 copy or 2 copies technically of Tifa's to make them really shine, because 2 copies again, OB1 is 20,000 guaranteed damage with really good R abilities and a buff that can also refresh itself, which is really nice to have there. So it's one of those weapons. If you guys are going for it, don't feel guilty that like, oh, what if there's something better coming out? There's always something better coming out. But if you're going deep for this, there's definitely a lot of places where this works in pure DPS builds, but every other build she has, it's it's just a plug and play. Hey, I got a build, throw that in there. It works. R abilities, and then it does crazy damage. That's pretty much everything though. I know the wish list wasn't really there, but it's a Tifa build. Anything goes. Any of her best magic you have, any of her best physical, this will complement it just because of the R abilities alone and the guaranteed AoE damage when you're taking care of cactars, trash mobs, pesky situations like floor 100 on the tower where Genova's like, look at my tentacles, and Tifa's like, slap, 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 slap. Actually, she's more doing the Kamehameha, but yeah. So overall, great Tifa weapon, but it's one of those, like, if you did skip it, it's only going to hurt you in certain situations, but not really. You're still going to pass the content. But yeah, that's pretty much everything. So let me know what you think down below. Thank you so much for watching. Keep on smiling, and I'll smell you later.